Hi Virgo, welcome to your financial and money and career reading. I hope you guys are doing really well. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got the Rider-Waite and the other deck is the Money and the Law of Attraction cards by Esther and Jerry Hicks, because every time I've had to, whenever I was growing up and just in my self-development years where I was really I was obsessed with self-help from the age of 5. We'll get into this story, but I just remember Esther and Jerry Hicks and Abraham Hicks being a bit of a pillar of teachings. So there've been other teachers that have been, I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're teachers. They call themselves gurus, but I think they're teachers really, aren't they? So I always found that others would come and go. Everyone had their phases, but no one had the weight and the staying power as Esther and Jerry Hicks. Now, sometimes I do think that there's a little bit of fluff. And that's just my personal opinion, but it's really always a good idea to be objective when you're going by a philosophy. So I think it's always nice to pick and choose from whatever you think resonates with you. And that's kind of how I was on my own tarot journey. My involvement with tarot has been nearly over 20 years now, spanning over 20 years. And there has been so much influence in this little, subsection of my life, that there are so many inputs and so many influences, and so it's only just I guess imitation of natural selection going on here when I say that there's certain things that I really like to pick and choose. And this deck in particular, especially when it comes to money, because for some reason you guys really like it when I talk about money. I don't get that, because I never particularly felt qualified to speak on money. I know I've always been good at manifesting it in whenever I've needed it, and I know that this year has been such a journey for so many of us, where it's just been a massive tower moment, which I think we should all really, really, really be grateful for, because in hindsight, now that we're approaching spring and naturally the sun's coming out, a lot of us are getting a bit more of a serotonin hit just naturally. I hope that some of you will begin to or at least agree with me, or appreciate at least when I say that you really need downtime in order to appreciate uptime. You need the sadness in order to appreciate the happiness. And if gratitude is the key to everything in life, that's the key right there. Gratitude, a grateful heart, being on that vibration, that kind of skipping a step, open to serendipitous moments kind of vibration. A lot of stuff just happens to work out, and that comes down to being a gracious and grateful heart. And I think for me, being good with your money has always meant being grateful to the source, who ultimately gives it to us, bestows it on us, the natural harvest that we are. Born in September, the natural absolute harvest. That in itself is an abundant privilege if you wish to really identify with that. And then the embodiment of doing that will just put you on such a level of je ne sais quoi. Like I said, I never felt particularly money savvy to speak about it, but you guys seem to love it when I do talk about money, so here we are with this new thing. Should we shuffle some cards? Okay then. All right, where am I going to start? I think I'm going to start with the Rider-Waite. I hope you guys have been doing beautifully. If you would like to book a reading, all readings are currently off 50% for this week only, so go ahead and book a reading. rubyreadstarot.com. That's www.rubyreadstarot.com. Subscribe to the channel, help the channel grow, help support the channel. Do leave me a comment and let me know what you think about what I've just said. Okay. Oh yes, baby. That's the 9 of Pentacles, and that's the Star. I feel like it's so cliche and it's so good, but I just want to say it because yum, and why not? Like, the sun's coming out and a lot of moods are lifting naturally. Your money is looking really good, and it's almost like a dream is coming true. Some of you are destined for fame, some of you are destined for fortune. This is fame and fortune, so I think you can really look forward to getting prepared for a lot of like financial abundance to trickle into your life. 8 of Cups. There's something you've got to walk away from though. Something that you know already hasn't been emotionally gratifying. It really hasn't been satiating. This could be a mind frame. This could be a relationship. This could be a job place. This could be whatever it is. This is something that you know that you've got to move on from, because it may have been hindering your finances. It may have been hindering your confidence, your ability to believe in yourself. Your security may have shaken because of it. But ultimately, Ace of Cups. So there is some sort of dream come true that offers you an opportunity to move on to a lot more finances and abundance. And I feel like that brings you emotional contentment. So it may be worth practicing that emotional contentment already. Like, you know how they say, like, get yourself into the zone of it just by like visualizing and rehearsing and maybe, I don't know, allowing yourself to really get into that energy. You know what I mean, Virgos? I think naturally you guys are like really wonderful at drawing in wonderful things when you're in the right headspace and when you're like kind of in your zone and your power. You are 6 hours, so you naturally are confident if you're in your own energy, in your own alignment. I'm going to take those. Something about sowing seeds, something about your fruit blossoming, something about Temperance card, Sagittarius energy, something about a bit of alchemy, a bit of transmuting, a bit of knowing where it is that you need a bit of personal economy and moderation, what it is that you need to do to change things up, change things from one state to the next, what it is you need to do to kind of remain in the flow of things. One toe in the water at all times, you know what I mean? Ready to go whenever you can. The Moon card, there was something hidden about the money situation, things that needed to be illuminated. I do feel like some of you may have naturally been hindered by like haters or jealous types, but I think that's coming to an end now, because I do feel like there's something about your power and alchemizing, like just your genuine like core inner strength, like self-belief, confidence, belief in like the things that you're doing, the investments that you're making, like bringing the power back to yourself just by truly believing that this dream that you've been dreaming is absolutely accomplishable. You just got to walk away from the low vibrational shit and really fill your heart space up again. So some of you may need to do some heart chakra meditations, because that is heavily linked to money also. That's the 10 of Pentacles, baby. 9 and 10 of Pentacles. Ooh. Bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. Okay, so Virgo, look, your legacy is sound, baby, as long as you are. You got a decision to make about some of the rah-rah noise that has been going on in your life. And I think it's been pretty apparent that people have like exposed themselves. And you know, people, the low vibrational ones, are always going around doing someone dirty. That's kind of like their only gig in life. It's just beef. Now, considering most of us are vegans here, we don't like play like that. Here's the thing. You keeping a clean heart is always going to be favored by the universe, because people that have clean hearts and clean heart spaces generally operate at higher vibration. And that means you're always favored, if you know what I mean. I feel like also with this Judgment card, there's a checkmate kind of situation here where things may have been hidden. People may have been doing things in the dark in regards to your finances, your money, and your career. But guess what? You alchemize that shit by completely moving on and pulling the plug on even the awareness of these beings, ultimately removing all power from these entities. And so, checkmate, because the same ones that may have been throwing weird hate and shade towards you, and now the ones that are going to be watching you to walk towards your dreams. And this 10 of Pentacles is absolutely your legacy. And so make this decision, Virgo. Turn your back and walk away from the low vibrational crap. You can completely pull the plug on each and every one of these characters. You giving it attention is the only way that they still thrive and survive. Everybody is a lesson. Ultimately, all we leave behind is an energetic imprint. Everybody likes to feel good. They will recognize where the good feeling comes from. It may be disguised with hate and jealousy on their level, but ultimately the soul is sophisticated to always, it's sophisticated enough to always pick up on heart resonance and what uplifted that resonance. Okay, Virgo, here we go. My every story is attracting its vibrational match. What was I just talking about? All right, listen up, guys. Every thought that you think is vibrating at a very personal frequency. And by the powerful law of attraction, the essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn, that thought is now attracting another thought. That is vibrational match. And now those combined thoughts are vibrating at a frequency that is higher than the thought that came before. And they will now, by the law of attraction, attract another and another, until eventually the thoughts will be powerful enough to attract real life situation or manifestation. Like, you don't have to believe the affirmation as long as you're willing to keep repeating it so that it does become something that rings familiar in your mind. You know what I mean? Subconscious reprogramming right there. There's another key. You just have to do the work of keep repeating it. Even if you hate the sound of it, just keep affirming. Okay, that's the work. I can have money and freedom too. Oh, look. 2 hands in a rose. It's like Valentine's Day yesterday. And look, there's this sacral chakra. So some of you may need to work on your sacral chakra. I can have money and freedom too. A feeling of being overwhelmed is your indicator that you are denying yourself access to all manner of cooperation that could assist you if you were not disallowing it. As you begin to feel freer regarding the expenditure of time and money, doors will open, people will come to assist you, refreshing and productive ideas will occur to you, and circumstances and events will unfold. As you change the way you feel, you access the energy that creates worlds. It is there for your ready access at all times. Change the way you feel. Identify how you feel. Identify when you began feeling that way. Identify what makes you feel good. Identify what makes you feel bad. Lean towards what makes you feel good until you're naturally feeling good again. Keep affirming the whole way. So, look at that. The good and the bad. The yin and the yang. I can pivot from feeling bad to feeling good. As you look for a better feeling way to approach whatever you are giving your attention to, as you continue to ask yourself from your ever-changing vantage point, what is it that I do want? Eventually, you'll be standing in a very pleasing place, for you cannot continually ask yourself what it is that you do want without your point of attraction beginning to pivot in that direction. The process will be gradual, but your continued application of the process will yield wonderful results in only a few days. There we go, guys. You can change around a money situation in a matter of few days by literally asking yourself, what do you want? And that question alone pivots your subconscious towards the wonderful results that will happen in a few days. Just got to stay consistent. Get some sun and meditate and connect to source. My life is as good as I allow it to be. Many people focus on unwanted things. We're all guilty of it, and a lot of us need to have a lot more mental discipline when we see ourselves swimming around in the swamps of our mental fields. You know, the smelly swamps with the dirty, nasty thoughts that really bring your vibration down. When you're there, you really got to... And I've how many times have I told everybody about the bad witch? How many times have I've said this again and again and again? Every time you catch yourself having one of those moments, You recognize that thought as the bad witch and you call that bitch out. Like this. Many people focus on unwanted things with no deliberate attention to the emotional guidance within them. You know, sometimes there is absolutely an opposite voice that is saying, hey, it could be a lot worse. And it takes a real, like, someone who's on their own side to be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to just think positive regardless. And it's okay. I mean, like, wasn't there entire, like, movements created on people that just wanted to feel good? So they just deliberately thought good thoughts, like, regardless of how hard it may have begun off as. Like, the hippie movement. Come on, it's like, let's get with it. And then try to compensate for their lackful thinking with physical action. And you know what? We've all been guilty of that too. Where it's like, sometimes you just don't need to do anything. You just need to cheer the F up. And because of the misalignment of energy, they do not get the results from their actions. We've all been there. But here it is. It's a misalignment of energy, meaning you will get no results from your actions. So you're kind of wasting time. Use that time to get realigned. So then they try harder by offering more action and still nothing improves. Like the air you breathe, abundance in all things is available to you. Your life will simply be as good as you allow it to be. Biggest key ever. Like, how much do you love yourself that you're just willing to visualize, like, the best of the best of the best, and then, like, actively take time to just be like, you know what? I'm really going to indulge on how great it would feel for me to, like, absolutely be living out this fantastic existence that I so am worthy of. Roleplay is really fun. If you'd like to roleplay with me, book a High Priestess online. Tarot card readings are currently 50% off. www.rubyreadstarot.com. Thank you so much for your love and support. Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of this reading and if you're enjoying these new segments. We're always trying different things here. Loads of love to you guys. I'll catch you soon. Bye.